I'm Lindsay, and for the past 3 years, I've taken my van all over the United States in the pursuit of visiting every national park in the country. But it's been over a year since I've taken the van anywhere because a while ago, a huge mechanical issue forced me to cancel my plans to drive across the country last summer. And ever since then, this is what I've been waiting for. My next big road trip. Things are just barely starting to warm up where I live in the Northeast, so I figured this would be a good opportunity to go visit some parks with a warmer climate and to take the van across the country to experience a southwestern spring. Finally, after almost a year of it being so over, we are so back. Well, I spent basically all day yesterday driving through Pennsylvania, but I'm finally in Ohio, and it looks like by the end of the day today I will be at my first destination on my tour of the Southwest. Based on my view, I'm sure it's pretty obvious where I'm headed today, so I'm about to go cross the river to head to Gateway Arch National Park. This is the Gateway Arch, which Finnish-American architect Eero Saarinen designed in 1947 for the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial, now called Gateway Arch National Park. Construction was completed in 1965, and the 630-foot-tall arch, also known as the Gateway to the West, is the tallest structure in the entire city. And speaking of the city, I do have to admit it is kind of funny that there is a national park just in the middle of downtown St. Louis. On the other hand, this has got to be one of the most easily accessible parks in the country, so that is one advantage that it has when you compare it to other places that might be a little more exciting. So all the green space that you see around me is basically the entirety of the national park. It's only 91 acres. It's the smallest national park that we have. And there is a trail here. It is basically just a paved sidewalk that runs around the park and next to the riverfront. So I've basically seen all there is to see from down here. And I think it's probably time to head up to the top of the arch to see what's inside. Something I never knew before coming here is that the arch isn't just a big piece of metal. You can actually go inside. So I booked a ticket to head up the tram and see the view from the top. These little pods carry you up the arch from the inside, using a mechanism that's part elevator, part Ferris wheel. The pods rotate as they climb to keep passengers level while they reach the top. This is the little tiny room that let everyone look out for like 10 minutes and then you gotta get out. I can't really lie, there is sort of only one thing to do here, and it is just to look at this big arch. But there is one final way to see the arch, and that is by boat on the Mississippi River. And luckily, I got on board to see the arch one last time just as the sun came out. The sun finally came out. Oh my gosh. At least I can see the arch. Like, it has the reflection off the sun, which is kind of blinding, but also kind of cool. There's really only one thing to see at this park, so I've definitely seen it, and I have the van parked on the street in downtown St. Louis. Because it is Sunday, I can park in this spot for free until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I have one more thing to do tomorrow before I leave Missouri that was a last-minute decision, but I think it's going to be worth it. All right, well, I left St. Louis pretty early this morning because I am working today, so I've kind of just been making my way across the state all day and stopping, getting some work done, and continuing. But now I have made it pretty much all the way across the state of Missouri, and now I'm here at my special stop just in time for dinner. This is Lambert's Cafe, a Missouri restaurant known for its Southern-style country cooking with 2 different locations in the state. But aside from the food, this restaurant is really known for one thing. This is the home of the throwed roll. Lambert's makes fresh rolls to accompany their meals, and they distribute them to customers by tossing them across the dining room. The tradition began in the 1980s during a particularly crowded meal service and has continued ever since. Immediately, this was a great decision. Gotta get a grip on this thing. You can see the finger holes. Wow. That was very worth the stop. Like 2 days? I get 2 days since I left Missouri. No. Yes. I'm not sure, but it feels like it's been forever since I was in Missouri. I've now made it to Texas, where I've just been driving and finishing up my work before I go into Big Bend, which will have no service. Glad I saw Gateway Arch. I did enjoy Lambert's. Totally worth going out of the way for, but now I've got to keep driving so I can head all the way down to Big Bend. I'm sure people have a lot of thoughts about Gateway Arch as a national park. There are no natural features to speak of, and the monument technically represents manifest destiny and all that comes along with that. But it also demonstrates the natural beauty of mathematics in conjunction with human engineering. It may be an outlier compared to all our other parks, but that also makes it the most unique. And it felt like an appropriate first stop as I continue west in the van.